Alrighty, welcome back to another trade recap. Today I took a short on NQ, and let's just walk through this trade. So if we go back in replay mode here to market open, let's go back here. Okay, so coming into market open, if we go to the 15 minute, yesterday we had a huge sell-off. So yesterday we sold off completely from all-time highs. And what I wanted to see was a rebalance to equilibrium of this price leg to then move lower. So in the overnight session, we ended up opening up this huge 4-hour bearish for value gap. So I wanted to see us kind of tap back into this and respect bearish, and also tap back in to equilibrium of the price leg. So that's exactly what we did in the overnight session. And what I wanted to see was all these lows become low resistance liquidity. So moving down to the 15 minute, what I wanted to see coming into market open was I wanted to see ES, which was way more bullish than NQ at the time. I wanted to see ES come up and take this high, which was London high. So I wanted to see ES come up and take London high, and for us to put in a bearish SMT with London high to then move lower towards London, towards Asia, and all this low resistance sell side liquidity. So we had this 15-minute bearish for value gap, and we also had this internal high. So I wanted to see what we wanted to do going into market open. Now, at market open, what did we do? We came up and we took the internal high and we tapped into the 15-minute bearish for value gap and respected bearish. Now, on ES, we didn't take London. We actually just took the internal high like NQ. We took this internal high, kept London high intact, and sold off. Now, this right here was the first short opportunity. I did not take this because it was a little too early and I don't like to trade 5 minutes into open, but this change could have been your first entry. And you can either target London or Asia, does not matter, which was right here. Now, London was right here. You could have targeted London. Again, your risk would be kind of scuffed. It would basically be a 1-to-1, but you could have done it. That was the first initial short entry. We end up taking London, and I wanted to see a rebalance up to this point. I wanted to see a rebalance. We actually opened up this 5-minute bearish for value gap. I wanted to see a rebalance into this 5-minute, but we ended up just continuing to sell off, building more price action, sold off, took Asia. And once we took Asia, and is this 8 a.m.? Okay, I think, yeah, we ended up opening up this 15-minute bearish for value gap at 8 a.m. So let's go here. We ended up opening up this 15-minute bearish for value gap that I wanted to see us tap into before we go and take previous day low. So what does price do? It does exactly what I want. It comes up, taps into this 15-minute bearish for value gap, and we continue to build more price action, continue to generate more sell side liquidity, more reason for us to go lower. And when we put in this high, I wanted to see internal manipulation here. So we actually ended up coming up, putting in a bearish SMT. If we go look at ES, where was this at? This was up here. ES ended up taking this high. So we ended up taking this high and putting in a bearish SMT with NQ. So now we opened up this tiny 1-minute bullish for value gap. It's literally tiny as shit. And this 1-minute change. If we close below these, I'm going to enter a short and target previous day low. Now, what do? We end up dancing around here a little bit, closing below the change. I enter short with my stop above that SMT high, and with this internal 1-minute high out with my break even. Now, the reason I decided to go break even here is because this is all low resistance. These lows is low resistance. Do these lows really mean anything on the higher time frame? No. However, I want this to be all low resistance. So when we take this low, When we follow through and we take this low, I want this to be a fast move. I do not want to see any type of sweep at this low because of the fact that all low resistance liquidity, this should be all taken out at once. So the reason I put my break even there is because I wanted to see that be taken and for us to displace through. So what do? We kind of dance around a little bit, and then fast displacement move right here. Right here. My break even gets hit. I move my stop to break. Oh. And not too much later, we actually end up sweeping that internal low and coming up, and I got stopped out at break even. Now, and let me show you guys my executions real quick. Or I think I have to get out of replay mode. Here are my executions. So again, entered off that break in the change and then got stopped at break even. So again, once we get stopped at break even, we end up actually putting in another bearish SMT. And at this point, I'm off my chart and I'm not really looking at this. So I kind of missed this, which I'm completely fine with. And we end up putting in another change. So this could have been a possible short entry. We just had another kind of stop rate. And once we close below that change, you could have targeted, and the risk would have been really good on this. You could target New York and then honestly sell side as well, and the external draw. So that was my trade today. Got stopped at break even. Again, like I said, completely fine with getting stopped at break even. I want this to be all low resistance. And if we look at this price action, it's not the most efficient towards the draw. We ended up going towards the draw, but it wasn't the most efficient. So again, when I put my stop at break even, the reason I put it here is because I want this to be a fast move towards sell side. And especially with that displacement, with the volume that came in, I was expecting us to go straight to previous day low. So completely fine with getting stopped at break, followed my plan. And yeah, so that was my trade today. I hope you guys enjoyed this trade recap. I hope you guys learned something from this, and I will catch you guys in the next one.